Hello and welcome to my channel. I am Stephanie and this is the week 2 of January 2019 weekly wrap-up, which is January the 6th through the 12th. And here's all the books that I have been reading. Oh my gosh, it's crazy. Stupid government furlough. You would think that I would have more books read, but you know. As I said, I'm on a government furlough going into, or is the longest government furlough that the United States has seen in like forever. But this is not meant to be political, so don't get political in the comments down in, down there. I'm just stating a fact that I am at home and I'm bored. It's like week 3 and you would think that I had so much to do. I could get so much reading done, but I'm finding that, I am a better reader if I have other things going on, like going to work and commuting and, being at work, working on my computer. Being at home, I have time to do other things like watch television or watch movies, get Netflix and binge and sleep. Oh my God, I've gotten so much sleep. So I still had a pretty productive week. Last week. I did read 6 books and I have a slew of other things going on. In this video, you guys are going to get those 6 things that I did read. I'm going to go over what I'm currently reading, what I'll be reading next week. I'm also participating in Buzzwordathon, which I'll give more details later on in the video, and my TBR for that, and also some suggestions. Yeah, I have lots of things going on. I also will be putting out 3 videos next week, so you guys should look forward to that. You guys, I always forget to tell you guys this, but always look in my description box because I've gotten a couple comments about leaving up the book covers a little longer so people can write them down. You can always look in my description boxes. For the most part, there are a couple videos that I don't list the book titles in, but those are meant to be surprises type thing. And you can always, there's other ways to find, the book titles. Feel free to, comment in the comment section if you miss one and I haven't added it in there. But for the most part, you can always look in the description box so that you can timestamp, you can jump to certain books, or if you happen to remember a partial of a title or something like that, you can always look in the description box and find out what the actual title is, who the author is, everything like that. So let's get into what you guys are probably here for, which is the review of the books that I read last week, which was 6, like I said. The first book that I read last week was Hate Notes by Keeland and Penelope Ward. I placed this in contemporary. I give it 3.5 stars. I only give this one to Steam fans. Something I'm instituting this year in 2019 is my fans, to tell you how steamy it is. It only gets 2. And I listened to this on audiobook. I'm actually saying that this is a slow burn sort of story because this follows Charlotte, who recently has a breakup and is getting ready to turn her wedding dress in to a secondhand shop because that's just how she rolls. And the shop won't give her money for the dress. They say that she can exchange it. So she finds this other beautiful dress, and in the other dress there's a handwritten note to the bride that either wore the dress or didn't wear the dress. So with this note, she takes it home. Well, with the dress, she takes it home and she finds the note and is like so moved by this note and everything like that, that she decides to Facebook stalk or find out who this author is. And in walks Reed. Reed is the author of this note that she found in this dress that totally moved her. I was all for it. In the beginning of the book, I was like, oh yeah, there's some, banter. I wasn't a fan of Charlotte's pretty much throughout the entire book. She came off really quirky and kind of weird and just like hippie. It was weird because one of the scenes is where they're driving and she scares the shit out of Reed and he ends up getting into a traffic accident over a freaking squirrel. Have you seen that Geico commercial where the squirrel jumps into the road and makes the car swerve? That's what what I got from that scene. And I was like, that is so stupid. So stupid. I mean, I feel bad when I run over squirrels' tails or run over a squirrel or an animal that decides to be in the road. Sorry about your luck, but you're in the road. I'm not going to cause an accident for myself. I'm off track. I'm off track. But that is why, yeah. And this book is set in New York City. The next book that I read was Fresh Catch by Canterbury. I placed this in LGBTQA+ category. It is a male-male romance. I give this book 4 stars. I give this book for Steam fans. I listened to it on audiobook, and this book follows Cole, who is a billionaire tech genius who has a little stumble and ends up taking a ship trip around the world from Silicon Valley to the outskirts cove, Talbot's Cove of Maine. He ends up getting in a little trouble. I felt like it kind of jumped for me from his trouble on his ship and how he got his injuries, but he ends up injured somehow and ends up on the beach of Owen. Owen is in Talbot's Cove, and he's this hermit kind of guy. He doesn't flaunt his sexuality, but he's not in the closet. Neither is Cole, and Owen ends up helping Cole because he's shipwrecked, sort of. He, like, damages his boat, which is really interesting because he sailed it from California to Maine, which is quite interesting. So he must have been some kind of salesman, or sailor. Yes, sailor. And so when Cole starts helping Owen on Owen's lobster boat, he falls off the boat. He's super quirky. They have like this sexual chemistry that is just off the charts, which is why it gets 4 Steam fans, because yeah, their chemistry is crazy. And then you have like this heart that goes into the story, and it was so good. I really enjoyed it, and I can't wait to get to the next book in this duet of books, which follows another couple, and that one I believe is a male-female couple. So, but still, I really enjoyed this one. This is my first Canterbury book that I've read. I have quite a few of her other books, but this is the first one that I've actually read, and I'm just like, yeah, I kind of like her style. I'm liking her banter and everything like that. So I hope that it continues on with the rest of the books in the series, or in this duet and in other series that I read from her. The next book that I read was The Player by Bromberg, and this is a sports romance, so contemporary. I'm giving it 4.5 stars. I give it 4 Steam fans as well. Listen to this on audiobook. Ooh-wee. Ooh-wee, ooh-wee, ooh-wee. So, sports romance. And in this book, we have Scout, who is a physical therapist or rehab therapist, consultant. She is trying to follow in her father's footsteps of getting baseball players back on their game, and Easton is the baseball star that is injured. He was injured wrongly, and you get to hear his story, and both of them have like this heart and emotions that go along with it, so they're trying to trust each other, but at the same time their sexual chemistry is like off the charts, and their banter back and forth is really good. I really enjoyed this. And then this book does have a cliffhanger. It is a duet, but the other book is out, and I am going to be talking about that one a little bit later. But yes, when it got to the end, I was like, what? It's done. It's done. I need to get the next book. Yes. This book is set in Austin, Texas. For the next book that I read was Promises Web of Sin #3 by Aleatha. This is a dark romance. Give this book 4.5 stars. I give it 3 Steam fans, and I read it as an arc. This is the conclusion to Arania and Sterling's love story that is dark and twisted and dirty and gritty and just so good. I can't really tell you about what's going on in this book because it definitely picks up from where the last book of Lies left off, and just more twists and turns. And this book is set in Chicago, and it is the perfect meld of Aleatha Roman's dark side and her light side. It is just amazing how she melded them together and made this magnificent trilogy, and I was very sad to see them go, but I would love to have like more books and to see where their relationship goes, because it does sort of leave you left off, but there is closure. I just want more. I love Aleatha Roman's writing and her characters, and I really enjoyed this story. I loved seeing that whole mix of dark and light together. The next book that I read was Rolling the Dice by Alessandra Torre. This is an erotic short story. I give it 4.5 stars. I give it 5 Steam fans. I listened to this on the podcast, Read Me Romance. Read Me Romance. Yes, this is the last book in season 1, and this book follows Stephanie. Me? What? Another character named, oh my gosh. So, character named Stephanie, who works in a casino, and there is a hurricane inbound. Well, she has been fawning after this other guy, and he sort of turns her down after they go on a date or two. And so she decides she wants to get revenge, or is like, fine, he doesn't want me, well then I'm gonna go after his best friend. Best friend's name is Trip, and come to find out, there is a reason why the other guy stopped having interest in Stephanie. It's because Trip has had an interest in Stephanie for like ever since she started working there, and this is their novella, and it's sexy, it's sassy, it's hot. Those sex scenes are fire, just straight fire. I mean, yeah. I mean, the cover is crazy amazing as well, so, you know you're gonna get some kinky stuff in it. And it's Alessandra Torre, so she has this, like, blend of books that you don't know exactly what you're gonna get from her, and I love this side of her, and I can't wait to read more books by her, because I have a whole bunch, and I've read a couple books from her before. I need to get back into my Alessandra Torre, because, yes, I forgot how amazing she is. Like, seriously. And then if you listen to the podcast, make sure that you pay attention to the way that the episodes go, because for some reason they got out of order a little bit, or maybe it might have just been mine, but mine were out of order, so I had to go back and make sure that I listen to it in order, so that you're listening to 1 through 5 instead of like 1 and 2, or 1, 3, 4, 2, 5, something like that is how mine came out. And just make sure that you jump back to 2 after you listen to 1, so that you get the whole entire story in order like you're supposed to. But enough about that one. And the last book that I read last week was The Secrets to Dating My Best Friend's Sister by Meghan Quinn. I placed this in a rom-com, and I give it 4.5 stars. I give it 4 Steam fans. I read this as an arc, and this book follows Julia, or Jules, and Bram. Bram has been best friends with Julia's brother since they were in college together. Julia is about 2, maybe 3 years younger than them, and when he first met her while they were in the college setting, he just sort of knew at that point that he wanted to be with her, and knew that she needed her time after an incident happened to sort of recover and become her own person, be independent. That's what I loved. Julie was super independent on her own, and Bram was this hot, sexy, smoking, just yummy piece of man. Oh my goodness, so swoon-worthy, and I really enjoyed their banter back and forth. I only gave it 4.5 stars and 4 Steam fans because it was a bit of a slow burn. Even though you knew that they were going to be together and their sexual chemistry was on, you don't actually get to any sex until like later on in the book. There's lots of banter beforehand. But because Julia runs a dating agency or dating program, you get to have that sexual sort of banter and questions before, because Bram has to answer these questions during the questionnaire as well. but this book is set in New York City. Those are the books that I read last week. I really enjoyed them, and I look forward to getting to more. Let's get to what I am currently reading. So I am not technically currently reading these books. These are the books that are on my Goodreads saying that I'm currently reading them. I will be picking them up after I edit and do all my videos for next week, and these are the books that I'll be reading along with quite a few other ones. But on my list currently is, to start off, All My Truths and One Lie by Fabiola Francisco. This is an arc, so I will be getting to this week. And this also qualifies in my Buzzword readathon. So that's all I'm going to say about that. The next book is Unscripted by Christy Pastore. I received this as an arc as well, so I will be reading this and getting back with you guys about how I felt about this. This is a re-release of this book. It's been re-edited and reformatted, and I can't wait to jump into it. The Catch by Bromberg, I will be listening to as an audiobook, and that should be really quick because I think it's only like 8 hours, which means I'll be able to fly through that in one day. Unfortunately, it is snowing, or it snowed over the nights, and my kid will be home with me, so yeah. I will also be getting deeper into The Water Cure by Sophie Mackintosh. I received that as an arc, so I will be getting that done and getting you guys more information about that. Alrighty, let's talk about Buzzwordathon. Buzzwordathon is a readathon that is hosted by Lala from Books and Lala, and this year she took on a co-host of Natasha from My Reading is Odd. And the whole point to this readathon is to read books with a buzzword, and this year's buzzword, or this round's buzzword, is lie and any form of that word. So lie, liar, lying, liars, laying, I mean, yeah. If it has that whole word of any sort in the title, it needs to get read, right? So the group read for this readathon, the readathon is from January the 14th until the 20th, so it starts tomorrow, and the group read, now I can get to that, is The Last Time I Lied by Riley Sager, and I have that book on hold from my library, so hopefully, fingers crossed, it comes in and I get to listen to it, but if not, oh well. And my TBR, or my makeshift TBR, not to say that I'm going to get to all these books, because as you saw, I had, what, 4 or 5 books already on my currently reading book, or list, and then I'm going to add some of these as well. And to start that off, I also have Lies You Never Told Me by Jennifer Donaldson on hold at my library. Hopefully that comes in. The Safest Lies by Meghan Miranda. Walking in Circles Before Lying Down by Merle Mackerel. Necessary Lies by Diane Chamberlain. The Marriage Lie by Kimberly Bell. All My Truths and One Lie by Fabiola Francisco. And I might actually try and get into the Filthy Beautiful Lies series by Kendall Ryan. And further looking upon that one, I was like, is this 4 books or is it a bunch of standalone books? I think it is a duet of Filthy Beautiful Lies and Filthy Beautiful Love. And then Filthy Beautiful Lust is a standalone, as well as Filthy Beautiful Forever, which is also a standalone. So that is a hefty TBR. Most of those I am getting on audiobooks, so I should be able to fly through quite a few of them, hopefully, fingers crossed, and we will see. My recommendations for Buzzwordathon is as follows. I think you guys should check out 27 Truths and 27 Lies by M.J. Fields. This book is very twisted, or this duet is very twisted, and it's gonna rip your heart out. I know I didn't particularly care for the main character, Anna, in the first book of 27 Truths until I got to Luke's book, which is 27 Lies, and everything just cleared up for me, and I was like, oh wow, oh my goodness, what is going on? Is this really happening? Yeah, it's emotional, it is traumatic, it's just, it's weird, it's crazy, good weird. Yes. The next book I also suggest is Lies She Told by Kate Hallahan. I read this last year for 24 and 48, I believe. And this is a twisted mystery where you have a female character who is a writer and she's having trouble with her husband. And there's a lot of things that go into play, but it's really good. I really enjoyed this last year. The next books that I suggest that you read is Crown of Lies and Throne of Truth by Pepper Winters. If you are into dark and twisted and crazy, this duet is going to take you on a ride and give you all the thrills, the chills, the suspense, and also some really dark romance. The next I suggest is Why Lie by Carrie Haywood. I really enjoyed this book when it first came out and I got to read it. This is about a sister who, it's sort of an unrequited love story, but at the same time not. You don't know who the male character is, especially if you haven't read any of the other standalone books in this series. They are standalone, so you can read this one without reading the other books in the series. But it's so good. I loved all the twists and turns. It's a very swoon-worthy. The main male character in this book is a very sweet, and you just root for him, and you feel for him, and you understand his plight that he's going through. His issues, her issues. It's just really heartwarming. The next series that I'm going to suggest that you guys check out is This Much Is True, The Truth About Air and Water, Tell Me Something True by Catherine Owen. I read this series when I first started reading again, and this series tore me apart. It is about a baseball player and a ballerina. This is their epic love story. I mean, like, straight up epic love story. The ballerina, she makes choices and does things in her life, and you want to sort of strangle her, but at the same time, she's had tragedies and things that have happened in her past. And then you have a baseball player that is so in love with this girl that, you know, you root for both of them. And so much happens. It's epic. It is so epic. And then the last thing, and then I'm going to suggest that you guys read, is Black Lies by Alessandra Torre. I loved this book. You should go into this book blind. It is twisted, it is crazy, it is a bit dark and taboo, but other than those like characteristics, that's all you should know. Don't go read the reviews, don't go read anything about it, just read this book blindly, and you may enjoy it as much as I did, or you may not like it. That's fine as well. These books aren't for everyone, but I definitely enjoyed it, and I think that you should go into it blind and enjoy that aspect of it. Alrighty, final thing to get to in this video is a Romanceopoly. I had not pulled or done any sort of picks for this. I hadn't really chosen how I was going to do this, so hopefully I can shrink myself down. I'm going to the corner now, hopefully. And here is the Romanceopoly board that I put together, and let's take a couple rolls and see what... Let's choose 3 books, because the total is, I think, 29, or no, 32 to complete the entire board. So let's see if I can do 3 of these categories this month, so I can make sure that I get them all done, which shouldn't be a problem. But we'll do 3 for right now. So let's find out. Alrighty. So a 12. I got my little game piece here. Alrighty, so I will be taking the bus. Probably should write these down. And I will place these picks, the books that I actually pick for it, over on Instagram, so you guys can check that out. Make sure you are connected there. And that's a 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's a library and a free choice. 10, we have military news. Okie dokie. So those are the 3 books that you guys can find over on my Instagram for Romanceopoly, and I'll give you guys the choices that I pick for those. So yeah, this is a very long video for today, but I'm figuring out that my weekly videos are pretty long because I talk about a lot of stuff in those weekly videos. I hope you guys don't mind them. As I said, remember to check the description box. So if there's something that you guys don't want to hear about, you can skip. You can go to certain books and you can find out the covers, you can find out the authors, everything down in the description box. Make sure you check that out. If you guys have heard of these books or have read any of these books, let's talk about them in the comment section. As always, if you enjoyed this video, please give me a big thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Also, there is a feedback form down in the description box so you guys can help me improve my channel. Thank you for watching, and we will see you guys later.